Disclaimer. The information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GAN's processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
What you said, Mr. Cash, they will kill you? Can you repeat? Let us pull your leg here.
I said in Romania, if you do that, they will kill you. Going and touching a woman. Anywhere in the world, they do.
So I will not come to Romania.
It's just a point of view, just to pull your leg. As he said in Romania, they cuddle and kiss. There is no problem. Sorry about that. It was just, I couldn't stop the way you said it. It was very funny. Good evening, anyway.
Good evening, Mr. Cash.
I heard you teaching. You've done a beautiful job today.
You are the teacher, Mr. Cash.
We are all knowledge seekers. We all seek knowledge, but in different levels and different understanding.
I didn't went more in the other level, but it's a beginning.
We're all in the class one. We are in the nursery. We haven't even got to class one. So the knowledge has a lot to do and a lot to go yet.
As you said, are we there yet?
We haven't started yet.
I see Mrs. Gates is getting a divorce.
Yeah, I think they couldn't agree how many people they want to kill between them. Or one has got embarrassed of one doing what the other one didn't want to. This was on the card for nearly past 12 months. You have to understand that these people are under a lot of moral pressure now. And people, what they did up to now was hidden ways. Now they can't hide it, and the whole family has come under a lot of pressure.
I sort of heard a different sort of take on this from someone this week. If you recall, the Enron company that was buying and selling energy basically bankrupted a lot of companies in California. The only one that didn't go to jail on this was the man that was ordered to sell his assets by a judge because he fell in love with a hooker, this is the story, or some dancer, and therefore his wife wanted a divorce. And therefore they knew the market was crashing. They wanted to sell their assets, but they couldn't because they would be charged with insider trading. So by getting a girlfriend or a supposed girlfriend, now the judge ordering the person to sell their assets and divide it to their wife and so on. Apparently, Mr. Amazon has done the same sort of play. Rather than outright selling his assets, he was ordered by a judge to sell his assets. So now, knowing, obviously he's connected to some alphabets and different things like that, so he knows what's coming. So now I see Gates is playing the same sort of game in a way.
Mark, they have the same lawyer.
Yeah. So by having the girlfriend, even though if it's not a real girlfriend, the wife gets all upset. She files for divorce. Judge orders them to sell the assets. Now it's not selling because of insider trading anymore. It's a judge's order they're following. Could that be a scenario?
As far as I understand, it's a case of she didn't like his relationship with Epstein.
As Mr. Keshe said, it wasn't really for children or anything like that. It was more for blackmail. So just an interesting take on how to, if you know the market's going to tank and if you sell your stocks, that's insider trading because you had previous knowledge of knowing what's coming. But if you go through a divorce and the judge orders you to sell it, now you're not selling it because of insider trading. You're selling it because the judge has ordered it. It's a perfect cover.
I would like again to interact with Mr. Keshe and inform him, I don't know if he knows, that in Romania, science and theology are linked, and philosophy, in two groups. One is in a capital of Moldavia, Iași, and another group is in Bucharest. From this group, a physician are the initiator of this group, together with a theologue, which has a background of physics and mathematics, and so on. I would like to ask other people from our team to help to find a way to collaborate with these two groups. I think that is very, very important to establish with them the link. Even they create criteria for hiring a researcher in physics, in nuclear physics, if they have knowledge of metaphysics. And if they don't understand metaphysics, they don't employ them. Porte-parole of nuclear physicist from Măgurele, he said publicly that physicians just find God. They didn't have the objective, but they found God with this Planck wall, and also Planck energy and time and so on, all this Planck constant. And they are believers now. They become, even they were atheists, they became believers in this superior energy of energy with the soul of creators. What do you think? Do you feel that it's possible to collaborate with them, and do you find a way to work together? What is your feeling?
Mr. Keshe always reserves the right not to answer a question. Maybe he's busy in the background as well.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't have an answer. It has to be logical, not by feelings. But sometimes we can feel if it's good or not, is our intuition. Anyway,
Don't presume. You have the answer inside you. Everybody have the answer inside.
yes,
It's not needed to, when you make the question, you have
Yes.
already answering. You need to confirmation, perhaps.
yes, of course. But my feeling is yes. But I need that more people feel like me. And if more people feel the same, we will manifest. Energy is
Will
more
manifest,
powerful. Yeah.
will manifest or confirmation that I am right.
Yes.
This
Yeah.
is the problem, man. This is what I said to Jefferson. You come naked and you go naked. So this is where we, in a way, we fail, because we need a lot of people to confirm that we are right. Without, are you the black sheep in the white community? So if you really believe in yourself and you have, faith, and you are right, not harming and loving everyone, you don't need confirmation.
Right, and I see it as if the religious leader, the top religious leader, His Eminence Ayatollah Khomeini, signs the World Peace Treaty in public, other religious leaders will start to follow. And it'll probably be the same in the scientific community, even though it's been confirmed in China and other places. I don't think they've gone public. But once one or two of these scientists start to go public, understanding a little bit or some of the technology, which they probably already do know, it's just they haven't gone public, the other scientists will also start to come on board. But we still have to do work in the meantime to make it.
Mark, Ayatollah Khomeini, he's dead. Ayatollah Khomeini, you meant.
Yes, I thought I said Khomeini.
You said Khomeini. Khomeini is the one who was the leader and he died a while
Okay,
ago.
then I have
Khomeini.
Khomeini.
Yeah, Khomeini.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good. Thank you for the correction.
No problem. In terms of Salome saying, I want everybody to feel the way I feel. If everybody feels the way you feel, then the world is going to be boring. So we have to allow people to feel what they feel. And I have a question for Jalal. The question about your orange. Was the orange alone?
What
Excuse me?
what was the
The
orange?
question was the orange alone?
Okay, thank you very much. No way. No way. This is a private teaching, and funny enough,
You don't know the answer. That's why you say it's private teaching.
no. Absolutely, I know the teaching. Absolutely, I know. Is that black color which I say alone?
No, maybe the orange had a lover who was a lemon.
Oh my dear, when when I say that if you understand this experiment in real, then I think you will know the truth from A to Z.
The twin soul.
It is really far away, far on reach. If you don't go deep in the understanding. But this black color, you call it orange, it didn't came from one source. So you choose what kind of black color or orange you would like to be. Or is it you? It have a lot of application. This test, it have existence in this water. This smell, it have existence. And if you are knowledgeable enough to make the strength of the physicality of the matter state of this orange, it will be exist in this water. So ask yourself, is that entity real? Or is that soul is real? And which one is which? Which one is the truth now? The cup or the orange? Or you don't go in this way. It exists. And this is important. Where you go from. If you want to go and ask which one is right and which one is wrong and which one is the first and which one the end, you will not finish. You will take 1 million years. But what if you are there and finish? What you gonna create? And this is the which is important now. Or you have and you gain a knowledge to expand in this beautiful tools which Mr. Keshe give us to reach the level 2 in this nursery. And you are capable. And I give you a tip. In this 3-4 weeks of teaching, you start level 2. And if you like, come to the private teaching and I will teach you how. Thank you, Azar. I hope I answered.
You see, when you talk about the orange, nobody's in isolation, not even the orange. And so I mean, if it was the case, orange were in isolation, everything would be easy. But when I touch the orange, or you touch the orange, or somebody else touch the orange, it's very different. Because when I touch the orange, I'm also in touch with a lot of different things. Because I came from the beginning of creation to this point, so I carry a lot of things with me. So you have to understand, we cannot underestimate and overestimate the strength of the soul. So it's not only one thing. 10 people can sit in a room and make a wish, same wish, but which one of them the wish come true? What does it depend on? So there is nothing in the universe in isolation. Everything is interconnected. So that's why that's why humanity is where it is now, because if it was just in isolation, we could make it happen to the world peace in one second. That's why at the same time we talk about the soul. If one soul has the strength to do it, that's the story of Orange. One soul can do it. So it's interconnection of all of us that makes the whole universe. That's why it makes it so complex. Because you have like 8-9 membrane of different memories. You come from atomic memory, elemental memories, um, evolutionary memories, sensory memories, calming memories, articulate memories, inarticulate memories. And like you might have a part of your body come from million years ago, but they're still playing the same game that was playing million years ago. So everything is interconnected. So within your strength you can perform whatever you can perform, but not beyond it. Unless you change your energy field in a way that you can open that door. Because each of us has a blueprint that we've been living it for. That's why it's called habit. You know, you can wake up in the morning and do the same thing, and sometimes you try to do something. Say you want to say, "Oh, I want to change my habit." You go about it for a week, and after a week, you go back to old habit. Why? Because you have a blueprint. That's why we have to change all those fields around us that we created layer by layer, and then that orange can happen because the orange is in isolation. We have to open that door, that field. We have to create it. We cannot play the same old game with a new field. We have to create a new field. I mean, this is what I understand. I mean, what you said is correct, but it doesn't happen in isolation. We have to consider everybody else in it too. Because it's not an individualistic thing. Is a like the way I can say it, like for example, when you see your child, how you look at your child, you wanna grab him and hug him and kiss him and love him, because you from far away you feel the love. But the question is, when I see another human on the street, do I feel the exact same love? That's what we're missing. Every single human being that I see, I have to feel the same love. The same love that I feel for my child, I have to feel the same love for every single human being. Not only every single human being, but every single existence in the universe. The same amount of love I have for my own child, I should have for anybody in any condition. And that's what I feel is missing.
Now, I put something to all of you. Maybe bring some seeds of thoughts. Maybe you already have thought about it. If you see yourself to be the soul which reaches some sort of balance condition, but not necessarily perfection, do any of you see yourself or your soul as that orange? That what is within you will reflect and become part of every being on this planet and beyond. Then do you see yourself to be in that point of balance, as we are all made of fields, we can't be any different, that you can link to every soul ever created in the universe and universe. That is that seed that will change everyone. And the other question is, I heard talking about we are not level 1, level 2, whatever. The whole of creation, even those who are advanced, the knowledge they have is still all in the same nursery. No one has stepped up to level 1 except the Creator. So if we consider, as was said to be in level 1, level 2, or level 3, we are going back again to the same game of who's better and who's the king. where we're all, not only as a man, but as the total creation. We're all equal. We might know a little bit in physics, others might know a little bit in chemistry, somebody else might know a little bit about going faster with a higher speed of light or whatever. But in essence, all the souls are the same, and in the knowledge the same. And in those who reach the understanding of the soul of the Creator, might be in a point to be that orange, which the orange itself, in essence, was created from the soul of the Creator, or knowledge of the Creator. If we understand this, then we totally understand that nobody is higher, and there is no level 1 or level 2. Because if we go back to the teaching, we always said when we teach for the whole of the universe. Being that orange, that the knowledge is given in equal measure to all who can sustain and absorb it. As I said to a theologist, if you understand, is that we considered us to be the cup, but do you consider that the soul of the stone could be the cup too, for the same orange? The problem with humanity is that we only consider man the one who can make noises and make wind on both ends. Does not matter which end it comes. I was talking to one of the leading Iranian politicians or decision makers in past few days, and he said, because we had a meeting with some of the top officials of Iran, and one of them made a very stupid comment, and he said, Mr Keshe, just ignore it. He made a mistake which way the wind came. And the reality is our soul big enough, reach the maturity to become that orange? Then how much of it do we accept? Or are we, as we said when we teach, to be the soul of the totality? And each one of us is one of those little juicy bits inside one pebble of one orange. That is the essence of us, that little what I call piece in the one segment, that when it's transferred the knowledge of into another soul, it become part of that soul. When we talk about the essence of the orange being transferred to the cup, it's not the orange itself. It's each segment of it and every little pebble which is inside it. Each segment has carried the information to the water too. Because each segment has its own structure, energy, and each pebble, every little bit in there of its own. So when we speak about the orange, is the totality of the knowledge of the universe we transfer. And that only happens with the Creator. But as I said, I'll repeat again, when I said from many times, from the beginning of the time of teaching, when we teach by the voice of the man, but by the soul of the universe. And we teach all those who are created in the universe. So we're all in the nursery. Nobody has ever gone to level 1, because one who's taken the step to become To understand, to reach level 1, is the Creator himself, which is the totality of all knowledge. And in traveling the span of universe, would we see any different? I don't think so. The only thing which man will realize in traveling the space is some races know a little bit more than what we know, and we know a little bit more than what they know. So we are all equal. And this is what we promise. When we take man to space, he will be as equal, not as subordinate. Man needs a voice. Universe hears through the voice of the soul. Otherwise, everybody is equal. There is no king but him, everlasting, omnipotent. So, who's there to tell us who we are and which level we are in? And those who speak about levels, that's the understanding of them in the physical dimension. But when you speak about the orange, every single one of your soul is one of those pebbles in that segment of one orange. But this orange is the size of the universe. So we all share. It's just how we access the knowledge.
Access by accepting, Mr. Keshe.
Understanding. We can accept anything under any condition. Many of you been and seen, and a lot of you accept a lot of things, but when the condition changes, you move against it because it wasn't acceptable. If you understood it, you stand by it. As I always said, there's been a huge test in past 12 months and a lot of knowledge seekers. A lot of tests. And a lot of you had to do soul searching, what you hear is correct or not, and everything else. And some people fell apart. Some people accepted the, what we call misdiscretion, but we generally stay the course because we know what is correct and what is lies. And because we understood the knowledge, not anything else. I was joking with knowledge seekers past few days. As John said, we are back on traveling and being different part of the world. And we started this journey on Friday. And if you remember, a few weeks ago, there was a splashes all over the internet that if I go to Italy, I'll be arrested and 10 years in prison. And we were welcomed by the Italian securities, and we were welcomed by the ambassadors and embassies in different places in Rome, and we left. And it was very interesting to see how they lie even about the position and the time. And the same was that if we go to United Kingdom, it'll be the same, we escaped. We were welcomed by the different people and different groups in different countries. Then it comes to what you understood. Did you come to the foundation by the knowledge of it or the position and person of it? And those who came by the knowledge of it, they stood because it's a knowledge which is important. I was talking to one of the leading knowledge seekers in Rome on Friday, and I said, you know, I'm still walking around there. I was expecting to get 10 years in prison. He said, Mr. Keshe, A lot of people talk to scare the others because they are in panic themselves. And now we have arrived in different position and different destination, and we are still free. And it's just that they scare people to discredit. And that's what I said. You accept the knowledge, or you accept the levels of 1 or 2 or 3, because then they have a position to say they know more. And it's very interesting you talking about the American, what they call Japanese scientist, physicist. I know of him and I have no respect for him. He is a man on the wind, I call it. Whichever the course comes, he reads 1 or 2 pages of something and then he has opinion for himself. I know him for a long time, and in a way, he is not a physicist. He's a virtual, what we call, whatever comes, I go with. And it's the typical way that actually Discovery Channel gave him some credibility with a couple of interviews. He has no scientific credibility as such when you look at in his opinions. And he's a member of the wind, as we call it, whichever the wind comes, he's there.
So like a charlatan?
No, these
No.
are this gentleman. He does not have a broad knowledge. When you listen to him, he used to make a lot of comments on the television channel, which there was a series made about 10, 15 years ago about astronomy and cosmology. And he made a lot of, when you listen to him from one to the next year, everything changed. He did not stay on course or whatever. It's just whatever he was there to do, he had an opinion. It's part of the Discovery Channel. That's how he became well known, but he has no, we call it, he has no scientific backbone. Deep scientific backbone too. It's 3 of them, is him, there's a woman and another man. Discovery Channel made him. They tried to make him very much another Stephen Hawking, but it didn't work.
The woman, is that Carol Rosin, Von Braun's assistant?
I don't know, Tony.
Okay.
She's in her 40s, 30s, 40s.
Thank you sharing this with me. I was thinking maybe because he's from Asia, he can understand better the soul science better than Western physicist. I don't know. Thank you anyway. I think, yes, I think that this Mr. Michokaku make a synthesis of everything. He accept everything without having the sense of how do you call in English, self-criticizing value. I'm translating from another language. I don't know if it's this. I feel it that he accept everything and try to make a synthesis and sometimes it's not possible without correcting what is not good, to put conflicting view together. Excuse me, my dear friend, excuse me.
I notice that they are reporting positively these days on the Vienna talks. But I don't think, as you said, they can do anything till after the new government comes in.
The Vienna talk we already reported about 2 weeks ago. Some points has been achieved because Americans want to achieve that point, or at least to clear the way for the next government to be able to start negotiating. And we will see. We already what was to be achieved in Vienna talks is achieved. It's just that the present team has lost huge credibility in Iran in the past few months and past few weeks. It's got worse with 5 or 7 hours of private chat recorded with Mr. Nazif as totally discredited because he's a foreign secretary. He is the one who leads this negotiation. He has lost his credibility totally. And we know what we achieved. And when we knew what a position was, is one of the reasons we do stay back in Austria to be there, because it's very, very little given and taken, because there's a very sinister move in the background behind it, which we do not agree. And we'll see what comes in the future. It was put in with Trump in position, and more or less Biden is not moving it. Some of the negotiations are useless. There is no way the sanctions on Iran will ever come out, because Trump has connected Iran nuclear industry to terrorism. And you cannot separate it. And now we know for sure the new Israeli government, which will come into power very soon, because Netanyahu has lost the chance to establish or set up a government. The new prime minister, we have to see what's the position on it, and is very much will be in favor of negotiation with Iran.
Well, that's positive. And now you've got Saudi Arabia also talking.
Saudi Arabia realized they bought a bunch of, they were pumped up by the Israelis to buy billions of defense technology, which didn't work. And now they realize that, so the talks is beyond that side. We are aware why Saudi is moving, because now every single territory of Saudi Arabia is opened, because the Americans couldn't defend and the Israelis couldn't defend their own nuclear base in past 2 months. So Saudis just realized they paid billions for a bunch of dummies. And to be safe, not to lose more, they've taken the path of negotiation.
Well, I think that might have some good results for Yemen.
The good results came from Yemen. Don't forget about a couple of months ago, Iranians took a bunch of observers into Yemen to show them what has happened and what is happening, the true side of. Saudis have no power to defend their territory. They realize they're just trying to keep, with talking peace, keep their, more or less, their refineries and their oil establishments intact. There is a huge opposition inside Saudi to the present regime of Saudi. And this is their fear, that inside uprising will create problem. And on the other hand, President Corona has created bigger problem of Saudi than anything else.
I was looking at a video a week or two back about the archaeological excavations in Saudi. Some of those go back 7,000, 8,000, 9,000 years, which is the time of Mitra.
We have archaeological grounds going back 15,000 years. There are cities.
Well, I know Turkey is estimated to be about 12, and the
There
new
are
one they've
those-
found.
The civilization on this planet goes back nearly a quarter of a million years.
There must have been something very catastrophic then for them to be able to be finding these out of place objects under the ground.
The knowledge of the man was initially the knowledge of universe. And somehow in the process of evolution, man lost that knowledge. In the coming time, one of the problems with Earth is regeneration of its surface and absorption of more from the space. So
Can you
as
specify a little bit more about regeneration of the surface? Does that mean an upheaval by volcanoes and
we put it this
earthquakes?
way, you got the English background, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. If you go to places like Hope in Derbyshire, in Peak District area, even in the mountain range, there's a company called Red Circle, which creates cement. They're one of the big cement manufacturers. And in the mines, it's an open mine casting, we see mainly remnants of animals, what we call fish, calcium, which is used heavily in what you call their process. And when you walk through the mines, you see a lot of different shells of fishes, deep sea fishes. So sometimes in the past, even that position was under the sea. So Earth is continuously churning up its position. The surface getting added up to and underneath due to liquid condition, the volcanic condition, we just churn over. A lot of historical places on this planet are not there due to this reason. They're covered up over thousands of years. But a lot of knowledge has been there. Some of the knowledge has been totally destroyed, but the other knowledges are still there.
So we might find under the sea some things still in situ, buried by the mud.
More or less. This is how Mediterranean was created, wasn't it? And the way you go to Bosphorus and up, it's just
I understand it was dry at one period.
Yep.
6,000 to 10,000 years ago, it wasn't desert.
Somehow water managed to break through. So the knowledge, the life on this planet is millions of years. And different cycles of man with different positions have reached certain maturity of knowledge. And then has disappeared or some has been carried forward. But never has been so advanced as now.
Can you tell us when is the next ice age is coming?
I don't know, ask the Iceman.
Are the elite leaving the earth?
The reality is we are closing to the sun. Ice ages the way we used to know it is not possible.
Is the elite leaving the earth?
Pardon?
Elite people is living the earth or not?
Yes, called humans.
Yes, which humans?
We're all aliens to the others. What is interesting, I always say, it's very, 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 very interesting. When you drive on this planet from one country and you cross the imaginary line from that imaginary line, which is now there's just a barrier going up, you automatically becoming a native or a foreigner. Depends which side, which direction you are moving to. And you automatically become alien to your cross line point. And it's the same with a man. Once you cross the atmosphere of this planet, you become alien. Because you're not from this planet. So we are man of earth, at the same time aliens to the others.
I don't feel that. I feel we are one.
Good day, Mr. Keshe. Hi, I was just wondering if you were familiar with Dr. Stephen Greer's new documentary called A Cosmic Hoax. They're planning on releasing in June. They talk about the so-called last card where they're trying to plan a fake alien invasion with their own triangular black with yellow lights craft. Anyhow, I just wondered if you had any input on that.
No, I haven't heard. Nowadays, we got enough, we are busy with enough. There is not much time to spend with these things. The only, one of the ways of I receive, what they call it, information is mainly through a number of knowledge seekers who send links or posts or something. It's not, the foundation is moving so fast in the background that even it looks very calm. There's huge changes and movements coming up. Don't have time. And we leave these things because these are just sensational things made, and in 2 weeks' time, nobody remembers. And in one time, out of 1,000 people, maybe 10 people, 100 people remember even any sentence of it. We're working in a very different environment, bringing fundamental changes gradually up. Now that we have literally come stable. And as I said, and I keep you on to understand when we announce it. There's a huge news in the background in the Keshe Foundation, how we've been betrayed for so many years and how inside we were sold out. And you'll be shocked. And I've been very, very cautious about this news, this information, because many of you done a lot to keep the foundation work going, and now we see the fruit of it. And it has to be that way. We left the negativity and those who betrayed us behind, because they've gone hiding back to the nest where they came from. And sooner or later you all will realize, if it wasn't because of knowledge seekers who kept things going so much, it would not been able to get and to be able to disperse the knowledge so much. Now we are free, we work very much free, nothing can. I hope there is not many people left inside the foundation who betrayed us so close. Or one day I'll give an interview in how Keshe Foundation will grow in the future. In what I call the roadmap as we see it. We've achieved a lot. And now it's time to work on our own without looking at how people's doing. Don't become selfish, but become centering the target that our goal is achieving peace and technology. And with it, take man into space. The biggest problem is if we do not share the knowledge the way we plan to, we will have again nations superior than the others they think. And then we have back in the same problem. The key to it is to take everybody as equal together, all the nations. And we are achieving that.
Thank you very much. Yeah, even as I speak about it, it seems like it's just a thing of the past and it will not be brought to fruition at all. We just got to focus on the positive and what we're doing here. I'm really grateful. Thank you so much, Mr. Keshe.
It's just collectively each one of us does, as long as you don't become arrogant in what we do is so much for the foundation, but it's for humanity, then we stay on track. The minute we think, oh, we've done so much for the foundation, we have many of the knowledge seekers thinking they've done so much for the foundation. Who is the foundation? It's a humanity. The minute you think I've done so much for the foundation, you can't be part of the foundation and work of the humanity. And this is one of the biggest problems we see. I've done so much, I do so much. It doesn't even do more than any others. And then we step to the next step and see what more we can do. And in the next few days, in this week especially, once we have solidified our position in many numbers of moves we made, you will hear massive movements in the Keshe Foundation. Massive movements in different nations, in different parts of the world, and step-by-step development has reached that point. But we don't give it out anymore that people can run with it or try to damage us anymore. But those people who were behind damaging us, they start damaging themselves. The whole thing is to concentrate on what we can do, what we can achieve, where we can go and find. The bottom line is peace and happiness, and I found peace and happiness, and that's why we can concentrate. We can concentrate heavily on the positive move and expansion of the what we call peace, and everything else go with it.
It feels like the most important thing we need to be doing right now is just only focusing on those things and don't even pay any attention to any of the whatever psyops, negative, everything that's going on.
I thank you very much. But you see, a lot of people, especially Italians, moved away from the foundation in the past few months because of the rumors of, not rumors, deliberate criminal acts of saying, I'm going to go to prison. If I go to Italy, I escape. We actually had a beautiful time in Rome, and the way we welcomed was amazing. And so what was all this for? What was all these lies and cheats and deception? The knowledge seekers knew it was a lie, so we carried on through. The same, I was told I cannot go there or everything else because they planned it. There is something very interesting I'll open up very soon, and we have chosen to keep silent because of it. But if you listen to my interviews at the teaching time around the death of Fabio, there was a very big clue that you all missed. The reason we moved from northern Italy to southern Italy, we put the clues out there you missed. And now we open it. And you can see how far back we've been betrayed. Just listen to the first, second teaching after the death of Fabio. There's a big clue there. And many of you should have understood, or many of knowledge seekers that time have understood. That we were betrayed right inside. And now it's not there. The foundation is leaping forward, sharing knowledge, everything else to go. And I have a very much offhand structure. We set the TV up, we left it to you. It's you who's running it. We set the companies up, we leave it to the knowledge seekers to run it. And it's the humanity is mature to go through to do this. And it's a few of us here, but there are thousands and thousands in the background who are working with the foundation knowledge. We left everything in the hand of the representative and the knowledge seekers, the interviews and whatever, because it has to be made by people. Neither your television channel will be reach maturity just around before September to January, when more confidence is there, more programs are coming up, and then we get the structures around it. As I said, we started interviews, World Peace Treaty we started in June. We hopefully signed in June, July, Iran to the Act of Peace. And then we move on. I'll be flying to Beijing to do the same with the Chinese leadership. And then we'll see. It's just that you keep, for the knowledge seekers, keep on teaching. You got to realize we get a few thousand on the Facebook, a few thousand there, but beyond extension and expansion, millions of people listen to every teaching. Even American teachings are listened to by tens of thousands. When you look at the Knowledge Seekers Thursdays, average total people listen to it is over 10 million. It's not a few people, few thousand people you see all they've been. Each one does their own way, their own direction, and the expansion is beyond. And in different countries, we'll see different positions. As I said, in the next few days, maybe before Thursday or by following week, knowledge seekers in different parts of the world will report major breakthroughs in expanding the Keshe Foundation. And then we'll see. Our job is just to teach, and the rest is in the hand of the soul. And many of us have to learn not to teach with their voice, but to teach through the soul.
Thank you, Mr. Keshe, for answering what I asked about.
You're welcome. we see a very good opportunity in Middle East for peace. And we see an amazing position. But there's a big problem. What we see, Iran has been made a scapegoat for the whole thing. And majority of it has been because of the present leadership in Iran as a government. And today they have 50 more days in power. I was talking to what we call PowerPoints in Tehran yesterday and today. Said, we just got to be patient for 50 days. This is a problem when you give a pen authority to as a government. No one can do anything till that government is changed. Because everybody accepts governments, we do the same. We say hello to governments, to the nations. And when we can't find a way with the governments, we move to the nations because it's them who have chosen. And this is why for past years we moved the backing of the Keshe Foundation to nations and the government. Even in the recent past, because we knew the situation in Israel is about to change, we have asked people who are with us in the background who can support our move with the peace with different nations to be standby, that once we require, they can move in with us.
Well, at the moment, there seems to be a lot of trouble just before the end of Ramadan.
Always is. This is the month where people seek problem in Islamic world. Historically, they don't do much because they are too hungry because of the fasting. And this allows a lot of mischiefs to come in. But in general, everything looks good. It's exactly where it should be. But Middle East is not the whole of the planet. We have a totality to sort out right across many parts.
What about Ethiopia and the dam?
It happens. These are accidents and the positions of time. The thing is, anything man-made has a lifetime on it clocking.
Yes.
And so it's the time and position. We saw it, you've seen it in America, we've seen it in South America, we've seen it in Asia, we've seen it in China. These dams now are, a lot of them are reaching their, what do you call it, the point of change. And so we expect these things happen, and so many dams have been made around the world. Sooner or later, one will go somewhere. Everything man-made has a timeline on it. It depends if you are in that timeline there and then or not.
Well, I hope they can resolve things peacefully, the countries, and
the only way to change this is what we, in this cycle of my trips, started as of Friday. I saw more or less the same thing again. Last June, when we took a flight from Malta to Austria, we landed 2 or 3 airports. We were the only jet. And more or less, we see maybe a little bit more about the same. World economy is a standstill. We passed through airports which, again, there are hardly any any planes, any commercial planes on the runway. Going through international airports and seeing more aircrafts tied down to the docks and all the covers on their engines shows the nature of the world economy. We are sitting on a very big time bomb. But it depends on the world leaders which way they want to turn the clock.
I was watching a Deutsche Welle documentary on the car industry in Germany. And
Devastated, isn't it?
I was wondering what happened with the technology that you gave over a year ago to the
Nothing will
comment.
happen. There is nothing will happen anywhere till the world moves together. And you need to start a spark somewhere that the rest will gel with it. And that spark needs to come from somewhere. There's an old saying, huh? You know, the French women, they used to keep their cheeks red with the pinch.
Yes, and there was no rouge.
Oh yeah, exactly. Now they're all doing that, but sooner or later will collapse. Sooner or later will collapse. Or with rise of a new industry, they'll cover up the mess of the past and move on. And this is one of the biggest possibilities. Everything is getting ready for that change. We're going through a scientific, economical revolution. And we're all in it. That's why we don't see it. Economical situation will force a scientific evaluation and emerge. We'll see emergence of new technologies.
But it also needs a lot of training.
Man learns very fast.
And conversion of factories.
Well, that should be not a problem. But the only thing is, if you go back to monetary system, if you go back with a new evolution in science, back to monetarism, we lost. We have to go through evolution of new technology as available to all and respect all. And then find a way to change humanity. I was talking to the head of the Keshe Foundation in China this morning for a long time. And I explained to her in so many ways, if you translate in a different way, man has lost the will to live. Humanity has lost the will to live because of so much pain, so much discrepancy, so much injustices. And if the new leaders emerging can change that, can bring that effort is too proud to be human, too proud to be alive at this time at this moment on this planet, to be able to be part of a bigger change. Mankind will move, all of us, even those street tramps will change. We lost value in life with monetarism. If we change things and respect people who they are and allow them to grow, there won't be any slums, there won't be no, I'm not an ideologist, but I know exactly what will be about to happen. And it's the time to move the soul of humanity. The physicality has given up. It's well infested. in my visit to Washington in September, we put that to Biden in the White House. It's when you claim to be science, has to be backed by the world leaders. Not science to make more tools to kill, but science to put man beyond the solar system, to put man beyond this, what we call galaxy. And how man, the governments will pay and provide facilities for every man to live comfortable, to be able to participate into this. We don't put people by force into UFOs to get them across and see who survives, as was done in other wars. But we make a tool that how much we expand knowledge collectively.
Which other wars?
What do you mean?
You said forcibly put into UFOs. Which other wars? Was
You
there
know,
something in the past that happened?
in man's civil wars, in man wars, yes, on this planet, people were put in the front line to die or to be there to do something, just for because the leaders wanted it that way. Man going to space has to be totally voluntary by the soul of the man himself. When the, if I can rephrase in a different way, when the Pope bought the 9 million landmines and was given as a gift to Saddam to plant on the borders of Iran, many Iranian children were forced into buses and made to walk on their mines. This is a black part of the history which they don't want you to know, either side. And one of the biggest questions which start rising in Tehran and in Iran was how come the children of the Ayatollahs and the religious leaders are not in these buses? Only children of others. And that has brought a big gap in the people after the war between Iran and Iraq. So people were forced to march over the mines, young children as young as 4 or 5 or 6. We should not get to that position, that those who are decision makers put people on a UFO which is destined for somewhere. We don't know what's going to happen to it. You're in there, you become a guinea pig. Man has to go with his own clear conscience of the knowledge.
And a flight plan as to where going.
I'll tell you something, 90% of the UFOs will be lost in the space because they thought where they are going, but they tuned the machine somewhere else. They didn't know there is another one.
Why we are living?
Man, always been adventurous. Why do you think it's 7 billion of us in so many cities and villages? Because we left the family to go another 20 kilometers and we found a good pasture and then became 2 and the others joined and our family grew and became cities and the towns and the nations. Man always has been after a new pastures.
Man, yes, but woman wants to see where's the flight plan and what we're doing.
Man as a whole, women, man and children, I think it's playing with the English language. Man with a capital M, as you call it.
It is only for adventure, it's not for necessity.
Shouldn't be necessity. Unless we are in danger, unless we are running away from something, yes. But shouldn't be. We have another 2 million years minimum for the Earth to move into a different position in solar system. And by then we have enough knowledge even to live that. Abandoned ship, maybe in 20, 25 million years, maybe even more. And that's, even you can go to maybe 500 million years, depending how Earth defies the gravity pull and stay outside the sun. Once the last pull comes, you're done. And then there's no land left, but it's millions of years.
Why we don't talk openly about everything?
I think he's waiting for people to ask him the questions and then he'll speak about it.
About what?
Whatever you want answers on.
We don't want answers on anything. It's a knowledge we share. You have to understand I have different audiences as well. They ask questions I have to answer.
So we have a very hopefully positive future.
We
can get
are,
rid of coronavirus and we can move forward. Another,
I don't know. It's very strange. Very strange. We all breathing the same air. We're all in the same environment, the same capsule of the Earth. And how we assess ourselves and how we see each other's position. We breathe all each other's air continuously. And so all of us should have had corona to die or any other disease. And what is interesting, corona has a date it's going to remove. Corona is different across the same border. Corona has different strength in different days in the same area. So corona 90% is man-made, but there exists the other 10% which actually is awful. As we say, they made a mountain out of a molehill.
was it to target some areas specifically?
People who want to rule the world, as we call it, power hungry. More or less comes that way.
We go back to them. Sad
That's
people.
all is about the man, isn't it? How do you write wealth? Men always have been after 3 W's. And till you don't get the 3, they never stopped. They went for the wealth, and then they went for the world. They thought they can conquer it once they became wealthy. And if they were men, they added another W to it, which was a woman.
But in the future, with the plasma, will that change everybody?
We've gone away from the dimension of physicality. This is the change. We go for the understanding of the original creator, which is the soul of the man. There are no banks in the soul world of the soul. There are not credit cards, and there is nothing else. That's why this time we'll get it right. Actually, this time we already got it right. It's just time for it to come out.
Is it not hiding from reality?
Are we hiding from reality? Yes, we are.
So it is not the solution.
What to hide?
If we hide, it is not the solution. We need to fight.
The only thing is the physical teaching has reached limitation of it, or in a way man has problem with it. In teaching about the soul and understanding the actual boss is better than working with the generals. And this is the problem, and this is what now is getting clarified. And gradually people will go step by step into it.
Is there any shortcut to understanding, to get, what is that? Enlightenment?
No.
To understand everything? No.
No. Not really.
But we don't have time.
We have all the time. We have all the time.
How long?
How long is a piece of a string? It depends on what we decide into the path to enlightenment of our own soul. We can teach, we can spread knowledge, but then it depends on the listener, what they understand from it and how open they are to the knowledge.
But religion is the main problem.
Pardon?
Religion is the main problem.
The beauty with the cycle of teaching is that brings the religion in the line of science, that everybody can understand both the religion and the science. And this is one of the biggest problems of the new cycle of teaching. It said, Keshe Foundation, where the technology meets the soul of the man, where the science meets the theology and the reality about the creator, then does a religion exist? There is nowhere, anywhere in the universe, religion except on this planet. And sometimes it's a very laughing position for universal community, how these people have come to this point. As a joke, we say, with 4 wheels they became industrialists, with 2 legs they became religious.
Maybe we need to sell ayahuasca.
Depends.
That is the only solution I see. If one time people see the
I
real
think
world,
Azhar will agree with you, the only one in this group.
Mr. Cash, no, you know what it is. She wants to shorten she says, do you have any shortcut? Because life is life. There's no shortcut in it. Like you want to have a baby born, it has to go through the 9 months process. You can't have it for 3 months. So if your
Oh,
life,
yes, you can.
I mean, yes, you can, but the life process is a life process. I mean, I just don't understand why can't we, the life that is given us, live it joyfully and get to the point we want to get, because life is given to us is a it's just a planet. It's just like a theater. They give you a role to play your role, and you're gonna get there. That's all. And I
Yeah,
always
but you write the script, not anybody else.
I'm playing my script, you're playing your role.
Yeah, but on the other hand, it's your soul which brings you to write that the script, and that's what the whole point of the new teaching is.
Yeah, you know, the problem right now is, Mr. Keshe, the soul has to become a driver, not the physical soul. If everybody's soul become a driver, everything will fall in place. And actually, I was going to make you a comment. You know, when you talk about from Italy, you know who started to betray you, betray us. I understand very clearly now. Whoever, Mr. Keshe, this is amazing. You always say, whoever wants to betray, they betray themselves. Actually, I never understood it until I understood what is the karma, what is action, because the person is amazing. That, for example, the person who try to betray somebody, actually they betray themselves heavily beyond the imagination. Nothing happens to the one they try to abuse or to try to destroy. In fact, they destroy themselves. Even imagine, because I was astonished when I studied this, that, for example, when you have a negative thought, for example, if you go kill a man, like in a midst of like getting angry and kill a man, or plan to kill a man in your head and go plan to kill it, or think about it, killing him. When you think about killing him, actually is more karma come back to you than actually killing him in action. So a lot of things that we do in our daily life, we think it has no effect on us. Actually, it has so much effect on us. Even thinking about guilt or shame about yourself has a bad karma for you, even any negative thought about yourself. So is everything is so complex, this life, that we always think about the way I think about it is like this. We are given a Mercedes Benz, this is our body, and we think is a donkey. We use it like a donkey, but this Mercedes Benz is so complicated, complex. We don't know any clue how operate this big machine. Fascinating human body is given to us as a life, and life given to us like this. We don't know a clue, as if we don't have in a manual how to operate this one, and we just go berserk driving this machine without any attention. But
You
this,
see, Azhar, I explained this before, maybe some of you heard it, maybe it comes back to the point. Some of us thrive in seeing other people suffer. And some of us create a condition for some people to suffer. And some of us goes out of our way to create a condition for somebody to suffer. And some of us deliberately act for someone to suffer. And at the same time, the reverse of it, some of us does everything to make life comfortable for one person or a group of people, and we do everything possible to achieve that comfort of the others. It's just how we use this energy. Because at a time when you do your best to make it pleasurable for someone, you could be actually be harming them without you knowing. And at the same time, those who actually go to harm somebody and planning somebody, the souls make the best of it. So we if we think correct way, there was a beautiful say very recently I heard from a, I think it's a poet. He said, if you want to understand your enemy, think like enemy, see where he stands, that he has become your enemy. Then you understand if you cannot love him or love your enemy. It has a lot of meaning. We got to understand our own position. And this is what it goes back to the process of the creation and the creator. You give unconditionally. They take what they need from it. And if that need brings them harm, means they had to learn something from it because they've done something somewhere that correction was needed, it became harm to them. If you don't measure what I do, what I teach, and what I taught, then you are on the right path. But if you measure, oh, you remember I did this for you, I did that for that. I had that from one of the knowledge seekers very recently. I put everything for a foundation. Nobody asked. Because it's there, we call it a foundation because we're changing the foundation of humanity. Then we have no measure. We have no measure. When I got on the plane on Friday, flying to Rome, I was thinking about all the things which is put on the internet. I'll be arrested, I go to prison 10 years. And knowing on the other hand, where and people we were lined up to see, and the welcome we were given. So why do people go to make these things? Because they're scared of the truth to come out. And they live on people's ignorance. If you remember the amount of harm was done to the foundation and to me personally, and all these sites you see on the internet was done by the same people who came and pretended to be close to destroy, and when it didn't work, they went back to Nest and we saw them walking with the police officers in the court. We have another case exactly like this today. Because when you serve, when you deliver something for betterment of the others, you work unconditional. Not pre-planning. At the end of it, we saw all the harm came to us. Everything which was done to us in past 17 years. Relentless attack. Every lies possible, like 10 years to go to prison from the same group. What was it? The daughter summed it up in a simple email. Mr. Keshe, my father lost his life because of you, because he couldn't use your technology to save his own life when he was there. That was the biggest punishment. Knowing you're part of, you've been part of a technology which can save your life for $1, you had to let go. This will be, this is part of what it is, because we didn't go out of our way to harm, we didn't go out of our way to do things. Unconditionally, we did what it was needed to transfer knowledge, expand the knowledge. When you think you're getting caught, everything else goes the other way around. And we'll see more and more of these things. But our job is just to share knowledge and be knowledge seekers to seek further knowledge what we can add to and share it unconditionally. Every step we take has to be in one direction, how we can expand the horizon of the knowledge and understanding by the others. Maybe in that process we become enlightened, maybe we learn something from sharing. A simple knowledge becomes more evident to us, bigger knowledge. Said to Christian priests some time ago, Christ knew he's going on the cross, but he went to see what more he learns on the other side. What is the next step? And he found out about resurrection, that he could leave the physicality and live in the dimension of the soul on the cross. He tested himself to see what other knowledge he can learn, because to him he had the knowledge needed. And he discovered the knowledge of everlasting, what we call resolution. And with it, resolving that, he found about resurrection, how he can relive. And he packed his bag and he took the line and he went. How many of you are prepared to take that step? How many people of us are prepared to put the knowledge on the table and walk? And that's the point of detachment. Detachment doesn't come means put everything on the street and walk away. No, detachment is, first of all, to have a life that gives you the opportunity to serve in a way you can survive and be able to serve. Not to get anything out of it. What comes is there to come, but not necessarily that you do it to get something from it. And the limitation is on us, not on anybody else. If you listen to the teaching past few weeks on what is to come, we are merging the soul of the man and the physicality of the man and the dimension of life to one. This is the essential part of where the present teaching are going. Unification of the soul of the man and soul of physicality of the man and physicality of the man together. You decide where you want to manifest, and you decide which soul will take priority to the other to protect the other one. These are part of the process which we don't make you to question yourself. We make you to question how much knowledge you need to know more. That there is no time to create a time to harm the others.
Mr. Keshe, it's past midnight for you.
I don't know, depends where you are.
I think it's past midnight for you. You should be tired now.
You don't know where I am, so you don't know what time I live in.
I mean, Europe, everywhere you go is the same time. So either you're
Who said we are in Europe? We don't talk. You assume.
Okay, so you know, maybe North America.
No, we have started our trips, we started our travels around the world to expand and in a way expand the knowledge. And we have asked the knowledge seekers who are with us or amongst us to keep total silence. And we keep it that way.
Mr. Keshe, so traveling in Europe opened up everywhere?
I don't know, go and ask. You will not find out, don't worry about it.
No way you will find out.
The beauty of time and space is we expect to travel next 6 months heavily around the world, and we have started a process, and it's mainly to expand and bring the Keshe Foundation to its position. There is a number of advancement in Keshe Foundation development in our factories and our process of development with government, so they need to be seen. And unfortunately, government asks us to be present in many positions, and then we take the next step by step. We will be in Tehran after 16th or 18th of June, that's for sure. And a new evolution in what we call science and technology will start. And on 20th of July, we will be in Bucharest, 100%. Unless something happens different in one-day conference in Bucharest with the Romanian scientists. And the Keshe Foundation has accepted full financial responsibility for the conference. And this now is the job of the Romanian representative and the team which work in Romania to organize and see the visits. It'll be based on the total free entry, and anybody who wants to donate to be in that conference, the funds will go to the benefit of the Keshe Foundation Romania for their television station or whatever they want to expand their work for.
Mr. Keshe, when we were listening to the clip from the 331 Knowledge Seekers Workshop, you said that well, today is Mother's Day and the idea of Mitra and celebrating women and everything, but you said, and I took it literally, that certain women lost respect for other women and they became men. Did you mean this literally, or was it just an attitude that they developed?
Both. This goes back again in a lot of research and a lot of development and a lot of understanding of the hierarchy and the scientific research and a lot of other work in the background which has been done is at the present time. It's very easy because it's become so norm that we don't look at it. If you look at the lesbian relationship does not have equal balance situation. And that's when you say women become men. This is in respect to that answer the question you raised. You see, the immediately in any lesbian relationship or in any gay relationship or any heterosexual relationship, there's always a man and a woman. One is the boss and one is subordinate, one is the gentle and one is the other one and gentle and the rest. In the lesbian relationship is the same. If you very understand this phenomena, understand this culture, because I had to understand it because people who where I was brought into were a lot of lesbians and gays in it. And you sit back and watch in their performance what they are. They all have the same story, and I don't understand if they're lesbian, why they go to this position. One is a male one and one is a female one. And you see the male one always cuts hair, short hair, with the other one long hair. And the male part behaves like a man. That gentleness as to women totally diverts out in a true lesbian relationship. There's one who's always the taker and one's always the giver and the rest of it. And in the history of time, in the evolution of man, women have changed to take the position of the man. And over the time, man's capability, the way you get what you call ILS, where you can grow hairs or reduce hairs in the researches which we explained before, women take the position of the man. And they behave one and they live that life. And in some cases, as we've seen in the tribes in Africa, the gender changes by decision of the soul of the collective need. And we see the same thing with the gay society. Those gays who are very feminine, they literally behave, walk and talk like a woman. And gradually the position takes, if it was a society that was only left, they will change. One becomes necessity for the race to survive, that there is a offsprings and it doesn't end. In evolution will reach that. These are not historical, this is what has happened and will happen. We see it very, very open in Western Europe and in America, and we see it mainly to those of you who are living in some part of the world is unnatural, but we see it. And this need to be is there. Why the two lesbians don't stay the way to be two females and feminine behavior? If you walk around cities of Europe, easily you can pick up the lesbian couples. Why do we need to? If you wanted to be lesbian, you stay two women together. Why one has to be again man? Or man behavior. So it is in the evolution of man, in reality, in theory, and physicality.
So they didn't physically change into men, or did they?
They do, yes.
You mean with genitalia and everything?
Yes, yes, they do. We have it in Africa. We have a presented tribe which they actually do go through evolution within 12 months, a year, yeah. It's very simple. I always put it this way. maybe it's a harsh way to put it, but it's a way, another way to look at it in a very general way. If you take a pig, domesticated pig, and you leave it in a jungle, in matter of very short time, it'll become a boar, a wild pig. The horns will grow and everything else. You will not recognize it from the domesticated pig. The evolution to live will sometimes act very quick. Just go on the internet and just see how long does it take for pigs in the wild to become a boar, to become wild, to change. And look at the scientific world, how close is the gene of the man to the pig?
Mr. Keshe,
They say, sorry, they say
sorry.
the 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 requirement for a need becomes the mother of inhibition. The need to survive and be able to produce offspring that it'll bring that. We couldn't accept this now with clear physical evidence in Africa. We know man has the capability to change the two to any.
Mr. Keshe, can I ask a question?
Yep. I'm here to learn. Why you ask me a question? Ask yourself.
Yeah. There is we have what is another version in the world. Like I saw myself few other life. So I was man there. So if I live too many men's life, so that could be affect me or other people. That way can affect.
What do you mean?
I saw myself few other life male. I saw myself one time is a female and one time fish and a lot of stuff. But I am asking that question this way. If people's another version is too much male, so those kinds of stuff can affect this life too, like lesbian or those kinds of stuff, gay people.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
It's okay, someday. I'm talking about the emotion. It is related to emotion from some other life of or other part of our soul.
I'm not with you. Somewhere I missed the communication.
Yeah, but it could affect if it is happen.
Affect what? This is what I don't understand.
I think we missed the premise here. Your opening thought. I would try to explain it, but I didn't understand exactly either.
Should I repeat again?
Yes, but somewhere it's in your thoughts. We got the words part of it, but we haven't got the original thoughts.
It is like that. I have some vision and I saw myself, I am in male, like I am in somewhere else living my life and I am a man. And like that kinds of life, I saw a few of them. So I want to know if I don't know who that person, but I feel I am that person that time. I was that person. So if I live those kinds of life, like male, lot of male life, so those kinds of feelings could come to my this life, and I can feel like
Can I ask you a question? You come from Indian subcontinent, am I
yeah,
correct?
Bangladesh.
So is it for you a dream to become a man is to do what a man has done to you as a woman? To give you the power and the justice you would demand?
I don't know. I don't understand about that, but I saw that. That's why I'm asking. It could happen this way too. That's
It's
why
in the
people.
way of what we call maybe not subconscious, but clear understanding that if I was a man, I could do things as a woman I cannot do. In the West, a woman sees herself equal and maybe better doing things, she can do anything. But in the East and understanding in other cultures is very far from. I always said a very good example, I mean, if it could be understood the essence behind it. There was a very big difference between Mrs. Thatcher and Indira Gandhi, Mrs. Gandhi, both as prime ministers. One was a prime minister of a very large nation, and one was prime minister of a very small island, but was a head on top of the other woman as a head of a nation in so many ways. The Mrs. Thatcher always saw herself as a position of being stronger than men in the parliament, in the political scene, and as she said, women are not for turning, which is what we make a decision, we carry on. Where Mrs. Gandhi had to push her way, but still work in a male-dominated organization, being there because of her grandfather, with limited power, but a lot of talk. Because men would not lean. When Mrs. Thatcher got her way through women being equal, or preferably thought to be equal. And we see different behavior in understanding of the social structure, where a lot of women wish they were men, they could do things because in their world, doing things as a man is position of power. Where in the West, when a woman does something, is I'm equal, I can do what I like. Two different ways of approaching the same thing. One is to confirm I can do, and one is I do because I'm equal.
Mr. Keshe, I think she's trying to say is this. I think she's trying to say, for example, she's thinking
to be a woman, to be a man.
No,
Yeah.
I think she's saying, for example, you see, for example, if I have my great grandfather nose on my sitting on my face, so what are the memories of emotion of my great grandfather in my body right now? So maybe she's carrying the emotion of the past, and she's dealing with the emotion of that, because we have a software and hardware. So we have a record of from the time the creation happened in our body. So maybe she's talking about that emotion.
No, I think she was talking about something else. That's why I understood.
Azhar is right.
So we misunderstood.
So
You see, we are always knowledge seekers.
So you're dealing with this emotion now, yeah?
No.
But you saw a vision that you were a man.
I saw a vision. Yes, I was man. Not only one time, a few of them. And I saw myself in fish, like in the sea, down under the water. And then I saw myself in the sky.
What is the effect of you? What is the effect of that on you?
Oh,
right
no,
now?
I
Does
don't,
it matter?
I don't have any effect. But my question is, it could be that effect that way. I am asking him. maybe those kinds of, if that those kinds of life is happen, so people can get affect that way too. I'm asking just question. It is not happening in my life now. But I want to know what is going on in there. There could be another possibility to happen that way.
Was it ayahuasca?
No. I never tried those. I never tried those. I didn't see those really. I saw in the TV. It's happened without anything.
So you were dreaming?
It's not dream. It is more like real. It is happening inside my head. It is more than real. Sometimes I saw a lot of things.
I think you see these things because you want to see them. That's why. Because I can vision a lot of things because I just and like, for example, I see myself being in a spaceship or flying over the water, and I'm just doing it and I just feel it, and I'm just so exhilarated. And I can say I have that too because I'm so teleportation. I can even feel because I'm so mesmerized and excited about it. I feel it so much in my body. Sometimes I feel like I'm here, then I'm suddenly in my parents' house or someplace else that I'd like to be. And it just feels so good. And then and I get these images and, you know, excitement in my body. And actually my whole body start to vibrate. And suddenly sometimes even one side of my body start to vibrate so fast and the other side is quiet, and then it moves to the other side. So I don't know, maybe you're like that.
Can I tell you something very interesting? You know, this new air enhancement units which the foundation is selling? What we are looking at, some of you have bought it, some of you testing it. This is made in a very special way. The materials we put in is that we want to see the behavior change within the household or people who are using it. There's a lot of technologies which Keshe Foundation puts out and is putting out. In a way, it's a scientific research, but we're asking for some feedback on it. And one of them is these kind of emotions. How you feel emotionally in respect to being or using these technologies, new technologies. We are aiming at creating a balanced field for evolution of the soul, and we try to find out how you as people who bought it react. Because we have equipment, we have machinery, we have technological systems within our research facility, which we can measure the changes. But we cannot see the evolution in positive way in life of people. It's very interesting for us to understand even how you will react to these new systems, because it's very positive. We are within the scientific data, which is amazing what we see from them. And what we want to see is what direction of evolution will bring about inside of the usage. Plasmas cannot harm, they can bring balance. But at the same time, what does that change and balance brings? We have changed the strength of the environment in a factor of 30 times. Through the use of these systems, but a factor of what positive will bring to you. And then long term, what is the aim is what we will see in deep space travel when these are used on a continuous basis, day in, day out. The new vertical enhancement unit, which now has gone into production, the first 4 or 6 units will be out hopefully soon. It's a revolution in the space technology, and we want to know how people will change in a positive way in using them. And how you will react to it collectively. We know from recent research papers which we have, or research we have from China, it's very positive. But we want to know how you change. How do you see yourself?
I feel I am everywhere and everything.
Okay, is there anything else anyone would like to say or perhaps ask? We don't know which time zone Mr. Keshe is in. If he's in California, it's only a certain time, and if he's in the Far East, it's way past midnight. But we want to thank you, Mr. Keshe, for joining us. It's always enlightening.
You're welcome. The American teaching has become one of regular places we teach outside the frame of the Thursday teaching. But we put different angles on teaching. It's totally what I call much, what they call home-like. And it's a pleasure to be here. We are busy with a lot of things and a lot of things developing. And as I said, in the coming days, Keshe Foundation worldwide through its operation will make huge announcements. We are going for the first phase of maybe up to first 500 workers or people who work with the foundation, factories and establishments in May, which means we increase our workforce internationally to about 500 and plus. And we are very busy with it. And we expect these numbers to increase to 1,000 by mid-July. The expansion, it takes a lot of time. It's a lot of effort has been put by the Keshe Foundation, people inside, and we expect huge changes, and with it to bring a new what we call operational work And we are looking for massive donations from knowledge seekers around the world to be able to achieve this. We have strived and achieved a lot, as I said. And my instruction to all what we call the people who are heading these organizations for us is try to employ knowledge seekers on the basis of knowledge, not just because they're knowledge seekers. And the recruitment starts from this week or hopefully next week. And we increase the workforce to over 1,000 in July. And from there on, we expect to see something around about 10,000 employment across the Keshe Foundation worldwide by January of this year. This is our target. And we have got to the point that we can announce this and strive to reach it. A lot of Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers want to be pushed. We are knowledge seekers. You have to employ us. It does not happen that way. We go by merit, where we teach people from the basic. But overall, in May and June, we expect to see employment to reaches and moves up upwards to about 500. So Keshe Foundation has entered totally new dimension of operation. And from then on, my target is to bring the Keshe Foundation to about 10,000 workers before end of this year, in collaboration with a number of organizations worldwide. So it doesn't matter where we are there to serve, and it becomes part of the assets of the Keshe Foundation and the way we work. And we'll see how we go and how it will turn out.
So as they say in America, we haven't seen nothing yet, huh?
Well, we just started, as I told you. Now that we don't have people inside destroying us, we are building it outside very rapidly. We might have, we make announcements in next. Everything is done, it's just that our people have to be in position before we confirm the announcement. Documents have been signed, and we are in position of moving a lot of ways. But now Keshe Foundation is in that direction, and we to evolve rapidly. As we are now going to the bankers, we go to the Keshe Foundation knowledge, because we are looking for massive amount of injection of funds into Keshe Foundation to be able to move this up. And it's essential for us to achieve this. And our factory in Mexico has gone into, and this week will go into operation for the first time since we bought it 3 years ago, and then it goes to X-rays and other places the same. We don't go to the banks to borrow, because then they control the technology. But in so many ways, we launch an appeal for millions of dollars to be raised through the Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers to be able to support these huge changes. We have acquired a 17,000 square meter factory floor, and another 3,000, 4,000 and 7,000. We expect to reach our factory floor to run about 100,000 square meter before end of the year. Nothing to do with the spaceship enhancement units as a point of interaction with public.
So we're going to be seeing a lot of products in places that we never thought they would show up. With 10,000 workers, there must be a lot of material going in.
We have a target. This comes out of the leadership of the two ladies. The product representation, the delivery, everything has changed. The new position in factories has changed. New showroom will be added to the Keshe Foundation International Showroom. And all this will build up to bring the knowledge as part of the push for technology and exchange for peace. We have to become visible. We have to become operationally visible with advanced technologies. And then gradually we start building into the television side.
Thank you, Mr. Keshe.
Thank you, Mr. Keshe, for keeping us updated with these things. Thank you.
And thank you for showing up in the United States. You know, we do need the help here, and we're ever grateful.
We need help all over the place at the moment. Our priority is where we have spent a lot of time and funds. Mexico now is coming into operation, even initially through different ways of the Keshe Foundation investment, and then through its operation of the gas production. China now has reached. We had a beautiful gift from the Chinese leadership, the company which set up 2 years ago with the long years of negotiation. Now it's become part of, and now we, as we announced, you will hear it, 17,000 square meter of factory floor will cover most of the achievements of what we work for in China. And I've been requested to return to China, but priority for me is completion of the factories and new research center in Iran. Hopefully we can achieve that in the next 2 months. And then our new position in Austria, which takes priority, as Austria now has become the headquarters of the Keshe Foundation worldwide. And we are hoping to now complete the launch of the enhancement units worldwide. That once we show in Tehran, we spread the rest of the right across the world. It's a political, what we call, from Keshe Foundation point of view, to make it one nation. The knowledge will be spread very rapidly. It has to be done this way. We came, every time we made a move for past years, we saw and need to get disheartened one after another. But now there is no one inside what we call inside the foundation to betray the foundation on a daily basis. And so we have established, and now we can go ahead very easily. Hopefully you will see the pictures coming out of China because the negotiation is completed. And the new factory will allow us, we recruit maybe up to 500 people in China alone in the next 2 months to cover 17,000 square meter of factory floor for production and development. It takes a lot of workforce. And the same with operation in Mexico, Nigeria, Austria. And we have to move along with this, what we call 5 centers, to move very fast.
And you didn't say 17,000 square feet, you said 17,000 square meters.
Yeah, it's about, what do you call it, 170,000 square feet.
Well, that's what we need to get the products out and the people to start waking up to the technologies in the small way in the households, as well as in the doctor's offices and other places. I think
Our
the
biggest,
farmers, yeah.
Our biggest position is space development, and that's where we are concentrating. Even our new factories partially are located and allocated for space development, especially in Iran and in China.
Jason Baldwin here in Canada, Mr. Keshe. I saw that Elon Musk hosted Saturday Night Live last evening. That'd be fun. Maybe if you, do you think you'd ever like to be on Saturday Night Live?
I'm live every Sunday. That's good enough.
Yes, it is good enough. It is. It's a pleasure to be here every Sunday afternoon with you, kicking back a bit of a sewing circle. And it's an honor to be here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. But now we have entered a new phase for the foundation. And that's thanks to many, many supports of the knowledge seekers who've been there solid behind us, like John and the others in Arizona. And to build it now, we come to the point that we can change and turn the tables. We hope to have one of the most beautiful showrooms in scientific showrooms very soon if we get it through. We're working on it. And that will allow, we're making it prestigious enough that the, what we call ambassadors and world leaders can come to. It's a beautiful condition for us if we can finalize the last legs of it. And it's a massive financial commitment. And as I said, I'll take enough as I need and no more, and everything goes back into the foundation to grow and to bring the condition to be visible, to be part of the peace work and change. The whole idea of the next phase is space technology and systems that is not a COPS or is not a pad, but systems that can introduce new space development. And the new enhancement units, a vertical enhancement. We introduce very soon what we call a flatliner system. You will see it is in the process of development. Most probably in next 4 to 6 weeks you will see it. The flatline, what we call the flatliner enhancement unit, is different than what we call the present body enhancement unit, which introduce a new technology again, another dimension in what we call life of man in the space. At the same time, the transportation and communication systems are in development, which is slowly will bring. This is the where we're looking for advancement, and at the same time, new products or small products will be introduced. We have no choice.
The gentleman we've seen processed in China through the unit with the Alzheimer's and the Parkinson's, are you able, or if you know, to give us any little update on his continued progress?
That project was completed by the Chinese military. This was part of the project which we had, and it had to go through. The doctors were from the 3rd hospital, which is the most advanced hospital and looks after the Chinese leaders. We primarily ran that project for a number of Chinese leaders had Parkinson's, and they wanted to see the effect of the technology. And that was for them more or less, and we have completed it.
And yeah.
This was part of the project, and now we enter the next phase of work with Chinese. The new phase with China is primarily introducing a new product range out of China through ceramic, and the factory in the place where it's now situated is in the heart of the ceramic. So we expect you will hear new products coming out of China ceramic, with the Keshe Foundation technology in them. We become the supplier into the pottery with new effects.
Well, as you said, you had suffered with hay fever from May to June for quite a long time. And I think if people take advantage of these products, they'd be more than happy to donate to the foundation if they had a condition for years and they found relief. I wouldn't think it would be very hard to make a small or large donation to the foundation.
We work on, ask when is needed, and now we go to the knowledge seekers. We need huge donations in millions of dollars. Unless we go to governments and give the foundation to them. And this is the point I kept the foundation away. We have offers of billions of dollars from governments, but then they control us. They have told us we stay supervising what you do. And I have not accepted that.
I thought that you were putting some of your own money into the foundation.
I have put in, my dear, enough. Now it's colossal. We're talking millions of dollars. I continuously for 15 years have pumped into the foundation. Now it's the knowledge seekers if they want to come in to do it.
I see. I understand.
We have offer from 2 nations, unlimited assets or finance available. And up to now, we have not answered yes. Because then they've told us categorically they stay in charge of the whole technological development. And then we come restriction in teaching, restriction in everything else, what can be in public, what cannot be. And then we go back into the rat race of superior powers. This way, we keep the foundation away from this position. We need millions of dollars to come in to be able to, for the first at least 12 months to 24 months, to the next step up. We'll see.
And small or large donations are accepted, yes?
Any donation, the foundation has to be run by the knowledge seekers. And we're still supporting it. We're still supporting it, and we have people, knowledge seekers, who supported us during the rough time and the good times, and what we brought in and what is to come in. And now new technologies will come. There is a defense technology which we can sell for trillions. And if I move in that way, I don't need to do anything, but then we'll be in the hand of governments.
How's the self-charging chip that you've had in your pocket for 40 years? Is that going to be any way released? I know it's probably part of the universal or maybe some of the other units.
The self-charging systems, actually we were working on one just before I leave. After Thursday teaching, I had a look at the new version of it, which is very sophisticated one. It's a development of the technology. Research doesn't stop. I don't know, we have said before, one of our technologies has been tested by a group owned by leading scientists, a Nobel Prize winner, confirming the correctness of the technology. We're trying to chase them to get the full report from this laboratory. And this week again, we received new. We're gathering a lot of strength in confirmation of the new technologies. And this is the problem.
I know you had mentioned the cell phones. With that chip, you could maybe ask $1 or $2 or $3. And with the cars, you could ask, rather than using the power stations.
We now, most probably in a coming short time, release the system which needs no chip anymore, no SIM card. You don't need no more satellites, that's for sure. the satellite technology and microchip, what we call the present system of chip in your telephone, and you have to pay for phone calls and internet, is more or less on the verge of collapse.
And in that flag video we played, one of the texts that was in there was cleaning up space junk. And I know someone had brought up the rocket that was, I think it was Salamia, and of course the Earth is 70% water, so chances are it'll probably land in an ocean. But will that be another project, or the space
I don't know,
junk?
we can't be everywhere. Our main project, the main target after June in Iran is trying to put man in a space within 12 months, or at least Iranian space technology beyond Mars. This is one of the main targets on my return to Iran from the position I've accepted. We take Iran beyond Mars within 12 months. That's our target. Actually, if you understand it, you can go anywhere, but this is, the Americans are trying to be there and do all sorts of things in by 2030. Now we have the technology and the backing of a government. On my return in Iran, this is our priority.
And this is dimensional travel, not non-dimensional, or will you be working with-
Dimensional. We have enough knowledge to be able, with collaboration of the number of scientists within Iran and China, to put man beyond Mars. That's Mars is, this way we silence a lot of things. And we need a time limit that we can travel to the destination and back within 1 day. This is the main target. And where we can leave landmarks and bring conditions on, where we can go to Mars and back within 24 hours. This is a target to achieve. It's not just going there. We have to push the limits of the technology and the knowledge beyond. It's not just going to Mars or beyond, within a time limitation.
So you have enough time to come back and feed the dog or the cat.
At least the wife doesn't know where you've been. This is not necessarily fully manned, but technological advancement to be able to do. And most of your knowledge seekers should have the knowledge anyway. We're not talking anything out of line. Now it's just putting it in practical way and getting it done. A hint came through one of the leakages of American government very recently, what we possess in Iran. And I think some of the knowledge gets picked up on the internet. And I try to explain it.
That was the shielding around the missile?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can create a shield, so space travel at high speeds now is not our concern anymore.
Very well. I think we should probably wrap up. Jefferson has his microphone open.
Yes,
So does
thank
Jason.
you, Mark.
Go ahead, please.
This is Jefferson. Hello, Mr. Keshe. Pleasure to talk to you. May I ask you a question? The donations that we can, if you are able to do, is the regular donation channel?
Directly to Holland. All the donations, unless you do it through PayPal, which goes to Austria and then to the foundation, all donations has to go directly to Keshe Foundation in Holland, where everything is controlled.
Yeah, from here it's only the PayPal.
Yeah, PayPal is one way, but PayPal has a limitation, and then they block it. They're done with us. If some of you don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, they blocked our account overnight, and they kept hundreds of thousands of dollars overnight for months and months. That's why we ask direct payment directly into the Keshe Foundation. European banking system and World Bank has accepted the Keshe Foundation as a what we call research establishment with no limitation for donation, as long as it comes clean.
Excuse me, if we make the donation via PayPal throughout Austria, it goes to the foundation.
It's a limitation, yes, but it's internal process we have to do. But PayPal has a limitation on the amount of money. We go over a limit, they block it, they hold it. That's why we ask the payment directly to go to the Keshe Foundation in Holland.
Yeah, as here at the bank system, I have tried to make donations in the directly to the Stitching Keshe Foundation. And how is a foundation? We cannot make this transfer through
You
the
can
normal.
make a payment to the company as a manufacturer in Austria. We can do it, but the PayPal has a limitation. After a certain limit, PayPal blocks and holds the money.
Yes, I understand. I understand. It's clear for me now because I didn't understand what was going on.
Anything we need now that we will explain more and more, and you will see what we have accepted and what we do and where it goes. We have to do this jump, otherwise Keshe Foundation stays the way it has been, and it's not time for it to be anymore. We had to take such steps, and now we're trying everything which we have invested in the past, held on in capital and machinery, into operation. We are moving the factories of the Keshe Foundation right across China to another point to bring everything, all the offices moved to one place. And the same now, hopefully we do the same in Iran in coming months, and the same in Austria. We're making the move to bring Keshe Foundation to manufacturing, delivery of technology and science.
So we should be looking for the Stitching the Keshe Foundation address. And
it's on the internet, it's on the Keshe Foundation website. Very clear. We need to raise this kind of funds to be able to go. The factory in China needs in excess of $50 million investment. I'm putting part of it in myself, and the other part has to come from others on the operation. The same, the factory in Austria will cost us around about $5 to $10 million. And still, again, I'll put part of it in.
Mr. Keshe, we are around me. I don't know how many people who are working with this technology and having the benefits of it. And I'm sure that the knowledge seekers, they must know that it is needed now. And
they always used it, and that was it. I benefited by it. It is not important, but the way we look at it is how the next step evolution in science comes. If I give the technology of defense to the Chinese and the Iranians, American borders are open like a pig on his back with the belly open. They won't have no mercy on Americans, especially the Chinese. So we have to keep everything open for everyone. And I'm sure the Chinese will let the Americans feel it if we go that way. So it's playing politics very fine, but at the same time understanding everybody needs to be in the game.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Thank you. We will do the best we can. As a knowledge seeker, I cannot say about the others, but I believe that we have millions of knowledge seekers. If everyone help a little bit, we get
knowledge seekers only learn the knowledge, and that's how this all is free, so we do it. Now it's just come to the point that now we have to turn the table, and we are there to do. And we have had a number of knowledge seekers who have supported us for a long time in big measures. Now, plus the Keshe Foundation, we have to turn the table in a big way to come in. And with this changes we are there to do now is done. We have taken the steps to bring Keshe Foundation into international arena in a very big way. And I've invested heavily out of my own capital, but there is a limit can be done and needs the support of others to come. You can check the documents of the company in China, 50 million euro investment is needed to bring it up. I'm putting majority part of it in. And the same is with Mexico now is coming in line. Austria is changing position. Hopefully in next few days, we will announce it, and then we'll go to the next. We'll see. We are there to bring the change, and I've been there for nearly 20 years, solid in bringing it and changing it. This year is 21 years. I have put all my things aside just to bring the Keshe Foundation up. We will achieve it one way or another, it'll be done.
Very well. Before we allow Mr. Keshe to continue his journey, is there any other issues or points someone would like to bring up?
Mr. Keshe, Jason here in Canada again. Where do shareholders of RVBR come in terms of helping the foundation? Are they any help at all, or are they self-serving?
I think Mr. Keshe indicated that that would help to build the Mexico facility.
No. RVVR has nothing to do with Mexico, even though Mexico is owned by RVVR. Keshe Foundation, Stiftung Keshe Foundation is financing the Mexican operation. We have a big problem with RVVR with the American administration, and we will see some position in next 2 months. Trump personally, with encouragement from some others, which we know they're not with us anymore, they went to block the RVBR. And now with the lawyers and the Keshe Foundation team, we hopefully should be resolved within the next 2 months, and then we'll see the next step. RVBR cannot raise anything for the Keshe. We are not putting the shares of the Keshe Foundation in RVBR in the market where the way it stands now. Once we solve the problem, our lawyers think it should be resolved in the next 6 to 8 weeks, then we go back into the market with it. Trump personally intervened in Keshe Foundation launch in America, so we have to see how we play the next step. The what we call the OTC has put Keshe Foundation in their letters. They're opposing a charity organization to be operational in US, which is a illegal and criminal offense by organization. It's not against me personally, it's against Keshe Foundations in their communication, which is they have to declare why they have taken a position against a charitable organization, Scientific, which is directly to do with the White House. Trump picked the phone up and put a block on it. Now we'll see the position.
Okay, thank you again, Mr. Keshe. Pleasure to spend time with you. I'm sure everyone feels the same way. I'd like to play the message to humanity, and then the final disclaimer is anyone else have anything else? It's way past bedtime in Europe. Some have to get up.
And the Chinese are waking up for breakfast.
Right.
Yes, don't stop trying to put Mr. Keshe to sleep. It won't happen. There's a joke. There's a joke. Have you read the news about the corduroy pillow? It's making all of the headlines.
Nope.
No, exactly. Mr. Keshe probably does not put his head on a pillow, especially a corduroy pillow. He's only the second man that I've ever told that joke to that didn't get it at all.
No.
God bless everyone. God bless you, Mr. Keshe. Stay away from corduroy pillows. They make all the headlines.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jason.
Is he camping for Trump?
Is
The
what?
pillow man? The pillow man?
No, it's just the corduroy is an indented material, and if you sleep on it, it'll put lines across your face. I think that's what he said, make the head lines.
You have to understand the culture to understand the joke. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have a
Good evening, and
beautiful-
thanks very much for your time.
Thank you. Have
Thank
a
you indeed.
beautiful, safe passage and enjoy.
Thank you.
To all of you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Disclaimer. The information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GAN's processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.